Welcome back to another video. It is Monday afternoon, it's 2:25. I'm not in a major rush today, but in a little bit of a rush, so I'm picking one of my friends up from hospital. She's just had surgery, I think around 4-ish, but they're not really telling her exactly what time it'll be. So my plan is to basically get my training done, head to the gym, well, get my bench done here, head to the gym, do my accessories, and then kind of go straight to get her ideally, but the hospital isn't too far from mine / the gym anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much, but obviously I want to be ready whenever she is ready to go get her. Good work day. So my boyfriend is on annual leave this week. We had Zuko neutered last Tuesday, so last week I spent the whole week in the living room, working in the living room, sleeping in the living room, just to be in there with him. And my friend asked me why I was sleeping on the sofa like the whole night rather than just like waiting for him to settle and going up. And it's not even because we want to keep an eye on him, like he's been really good with not getting his wounds. It's because I don't trust him not to destroy my sofa when I'm not in the living room with him. Like we never leave him in there on his own. So I spent last week sleeping on the sofa and everything, and I definitely really struggled towards the end of the week. But last night I got my first night back in my own bed. My boyfriend is now on annual leave, so he's going to be in the living room with Zuko the next few nights before he can use the stairs and stuff again. So I got the bed to myself last night and I slept. I mean, I didn't sleep amazingly because we did have Papa John's last night and I kept waking up because of all the sodium. And literally, I think I drank like an entire 1.5 litre bottle of squash during the night. But I actually slept, like the quality of my sleep when I was out was so much better. I feel miles better for each day. Had my desk and everything back in, well, my computers and everything back in my office at my desk today. So wasn't sitting in the living room all day working. Sleeping and working in the same room is not fun. It made me feel like we were back in the flat when we literally had like 2 rooms in the whole flat. But quality of work today was definitely better, just feeling better in myself. I spent last Friday kind of having like a bit of a CEO business mapping planning day and just planning out loads of different things, setting myself a bit more structure to stick to and stuff, which I've been meaning to do for a while. And I feel really good about having done that. And like I did a whole like finance spreadsheet for myself, which is hard to do when you're self-employed because my earnings can change from month to month. Like if a client's taking a break, then obviously it's going to reduce it. Then equally, if I have 2-3 sign-ons in a month, then it's going to go up and you just can't predict the trend. So did a bit of a finance breakdown based on like averages over the last few months and stuff, and everything's all good. I'm such a finance nerd, honestly. I really enjoy like delving into it. I've been listening to a lot more podcasts on it and stuff lately as well. But basically that day Friday really helped me kind of feel good, so that now that I'm back to like somewhat of a normal routine, like things still aren't normal, like we're still not leaving Zuko unattended. Won't lie, I have made quite a lot of plans to leave the house this week because I was at home like all of last week. My boyfriend's probably going to be mad at me because I'm going to make him stay at home most of the week. But I stayed at home last week, so it's fair. But yeah, I'm having, like, last week was my birthday, didn't do anything. I went for lunch with a friend yesterday and her boyfriend while they were here, because they live down south, but went for lunch with them yesterday, which was really, really lovely. But that was like the first thing I did with other people last week. Like the only other time I left the house after Zuko's surgery was quickly to go to the gym to do my accessories that night, and then on Thursday to do a food shop. Like that's not okay, not good for the mental health side of things either. So this week, definitely going to make an effort to do things a bit more. He's also healing really well. So actually, I think by Friday, we should be somewhat back to normal anyway, which is really good. But yeah, so got a couple of hours of work left to do today. But I'm going to do that once I've picked my friend up and just work into the evening a little bit. And yeah, nothing else to really say. Obviously, after Papa John's last night, my body weight would have gone up. Also, we normally just order a Domino's or a Pizza Hut. And I say normally, we do not order pizza very often. We've been kind of having one takeaway a month lately, which is a lot for us, but I'm okay with that. But my boyfriend, the last couple of times we've had pizza, was like, why do we always get Domino's? Like, Domino's is way worse than Papa John's. Our pizza literally arrived cold last night. Like, Papa John's, that's the second time I've ever had Papa John's, and it literally arrived cold. And I mean, it still tasted nice as pizza. I can eat coldish pizza. Like, obviously it wasn't freezing cold. But yeah, no, I was not overly impressed, especially because, I mean, we did get it delivered, which was super lazy of us. Like, it's literally around the corner, but equally, it's literally around the corner. But yeah, anyway, that's pretty my update. I'm feeling, like, mentals, everything feel miles better today. Physically, feeling very puffy, bloated, kind of gross, just from the takeaway last night. But I kind of feel like that's what I need after a takeaway, because if I felt fantastic today, I'd want to just order another one like later in the week, which I'm obviously not going to do. Also, don't want to spend the money on. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. Definitely feeling in a better mood than I was kind of last week with things. So all is good. Glad to be back in somewhat of a routine. We'll be very thankful when we're completely back in routine. And yeah, feeling a bit healthier as well after a night in my own bed.
Really been going back to back to back to back to back to back to back. Like the neighborhood warriors. I don't miss, I don't play none, I don't diss, I don't say none. I go swish, that's an A1. I eat steak with no A1. Tell the chef I said thanks, tell I'm in the bank. Tell my mom I'm living good, tell my kids don't stress a thing. I go back to back on the drops, drop a lot and she pack the bags. She shot till we drop. I just wake up, I don't say nothing. I'm on go, I don't stay long. I've been up now, that's a case one. I've been down too, like this day strong. I got summer toys for the summer boy. I keep drummer boys in the summer boy. I keep making noise, I've been paranoid.
Okay, so it is Tuesday evening, it's 6:15. I've done like a 10-11 hour work day today. Like, it's been busy, but it's okay. For anyone that doesn't know, or maybe you're new to my videos, I am mainly a powerlifting and nutrition coach. So that is my main income now, but I'm still working part-time as a data analyst, and I just kind of work in the morning, so don't do too many hours of that, but it's just, you know, a bit of security as I'm building coaching and everything, and helps me pay my mortgage. But this morning I had to go in the office for that, which the office isn't far from mine at all. It's like 10 minutes away, like if I drive. But I had to be in the office I got into the office by 7:30, 7:45. And essentially as soon as I came home I had my lunch and then went straight back to my desk and just continued working. I had quite a lot of replies and stuff to get through from today as well, and from like last night. So basically just very busy work day. Just finished about an hour ago, had my pre-workout meal, which I normally would have while I'm still working, but I forgot, and then yeah, ended up sitting for a bit longer before I started training. Like, I wanted to really start training not long after I finished work today, just so I could get done a bit earlier. But I am hopefully gonna have a relatively quick session. I've got reasonably heavy-ish squats. I mean, it's week 2, so it's not actually heavy, but the numbers I want to hit at the set RPE are reasonably heavy. So I've got ascending 4s on squats, comp squats. So RP4, RP5, and then an RP4, like 5 to 6. So I'm hoping, well, I'm not gonna say what I'm hoping for, because, you know, we'll see what I hit. Then I have to add 10 kilos for a double. So last week I did 145 for my set of 4, and then 155 for my double. And the 145 was actually a bit of an undershoot. It was supposed to be an RP5, but it probably wasn't even that. So I'm gonna go up on that this week, but I don't know how much I'm gonna go up on it by. I'll see how my warm-ups feel. But I'm gonna do 135, then probably 145, and then maybe a 7 to a 10 kilo jump potentially to my final set of 4, depending how things feel. I am aware I am pretty sleepy, and it's quite late. But then after squats, after comp squat, I've got 2 sets of 6 on high bar, pretty light, literally at 125, so I can rack through that all pretty quickly. And because ascending sets into like what Lewis calls a plus set, that's a pretty speedy squat session for me, which is great because you kind of warm up as you're going. And then I've got tempo to knee sumo, 3 sets of 4, 135 set load. That again should be pretty quick. Although last week my tempos were so bad and I didn't even realise until Lewis was like, mate, these are meant to be tempo, what are you doing? And I was like, actually no, you are so correct. Like, they were terrible. So I'm going to be really strict with those this week. Then I've got 2 sets of 8 on RDLs to do here, and then I'll be going to the gym to do my accessories, which is just some leg movements, which last week I think only took me like 20 minutes because I've been going on my own this week and last week because Zuko, our dog, had surgery. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned that already in this video. I can't remember what I spoke about yesterday. I'm also talking quite fast. My camera hasn't got a lot of battery because I forgot to charge it. But yeah, so tonight's session isn't super long. Tuesdays are just such a busy day for me. Monday's also a busy day for me. I'm always really tired by the time I get to my Tuesday session, but I am very aware that comp is coming up and I've not got set loads for these sessions. Obviously there's a bit of a rough range idea of where Lewis and I are both going to expect me to be for these sets, but I'm very aware of the fact, and I felt like this yesterday as well when I did my top triple, which I think yesterday's bench went incredibly well. I'm very aware that it's up to me to load what I think, and it's up to me to make it move at the set RPE. Like, it's up to me not to overshoot, but it's also up to me not to undershoot. Like, I really want to back myself a bit more now, which is something I think I've been lacking. So Gonna go in confident, gonna make things move. I am also really cold, so gonna just take my time to actually warm up. I don't really want to squat in my hoodie. It's also like my Alphalete hoodie that is like my nicest hoodie that is covered in dog hair. I don't really wear it ever because I don't want it to get covered in dog hair, ironically, but also I don't want to ruin it. But then I'm like, if I never wear it, then there's no point in having it as like my best hoodie. So yeah, anyway, I don't want to train in a hoodie though, because I find it gets in the way with squats, but we will just see how we go. It is getting to that time of year where I'm gonna probably have to start squatting in trackies in a hoodie. It was definitely a lot colder today than it has been early in the mornings. But yeah, anyway, it's been a decent day. Back to obviously tracking all my food and everything after my Papa John's Sunday night and then leftovers yesterday. I did still eat pretty normally outside of that meal though, and those leftovers, so not going to weigh myself probably until end of this week, start of next either, because my macros are pretty low, and they're not too low, like I'm in a pretty good range, but I know that I can drop pretty quickly on the macros I'm currently on. And last week I got down to very pretty low 86. I think I saw like an 86.4, maybe 3 on the scales last week, and that was when I was sleeping on the sofa all week. Terrible sleep quality. I was taking my macros and everything, that was fine, but I was incredibly stressed, wasn't sleeping well, and my steps, because Zuko can't go for walks at the moment, were like, I didn't wear my watch last week, but I'm gonna guess I was not even hitting 4,000 steps most days, because I was literally just in the living room the majority of the time. So with that, my body weight got down to a pretty good point. So I know that, well, I think we should be able to walk Zuko hopefully by the end of this week, maybe start of next, and then my steps will be back up to like the 10k range anyway. So if I stick with these macros into British, I'm pretty confident that I'll probably even be mid 85s, if not less. And I kind of hate myself for saying this, but I do want to cut weight anyway, not for the purpose of comp. Like obviously at the moment, the priority is just making sure I'm in a comfortable range for comp, but I would like to do like quite a big weight loss phase after. And I actually wanted to do that at the start of this year. And that's when I hired a nutrition coach, but then I kind of fell into the whole, well, you need to eat eat for performance, and rather than worrying about the aesthetic, which is completely true. And if I start to cut more and my performance, my strength stops increasing, or I'm noticing a problem there, then I will definitely stop and just stick with where I am, because it's more important to me that I'm a good athlete than that I am, like, I look a certain way, if that makes sense, and I don't want to change the aesthetic. Like, I want to body positivity, like, not do that. But I'm not overly happy with how I'm looking lately, so I do, and I've said this for most of the year at this point, and I don't think my confidence depends on how I look, don't get me wrong, like I'm very past that point, but even just for health and stuff, I think I'd feel better being a bit lighter. So I do think maybe post-Christmas, New Year time, I will look at actually cutting and maybe even sitting just in the class for a bit and see how I feel there. But obviously that's a problem for later down the line. But I would like to use my cut into British as a way to kind of get kick-started with that. So we did have a takeaway the other day, but I think that'll probably be the last one until British anyway. I've got a few social meals and stuff, but I'll keep them within my calories. And yeah, now the cut into British. I mean, I'm pretty much at cutting range. Like by the end of the week, I'll be within cutting range of British anyway. But if I can get a bit closer and have an even easier cut, then even better. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking. I'll show you guys my heavier sets. I need to charge my camera while I'm warming up. And yeah, I'll show you guys once it goes.
I don't play none, I don't diss, I don't say none. I go swish, that's an A1. I eat steak with no A1. Tell the chef, I said thanks. Tell I'm in the bank. Tell my mom I'm living good. Tell my kids don't stress a thing. I go back to back on the drops, drop a lot, and she pack the bags. She shot till we drop. These beats are up and beat 'em. These bags, you can't believe 'em. I never saw the country, but the money comes from Sweden. I meet 'em, then I leave 'em. I wake up, fight my demons. I never grew my circle, I can't trust you with my freedom. Give me lockdown, keep you locked out. Only when it's here, you look pop now. I get drops now, on the top now. In the wintertime, still go top down. I get free. I don't go bust and I go plain Jane, watch me ski. Yeah, I see you now, I could tell you watching me. I go ghost, but tell me I'm more like his Lee. Rockstar, baby, turn pop star. I don't miss, I don't play none, I don't diss, I don't say none. I go swish, that's an A1. I eat steak with no A1. Tell the chef, I said thanks. Tell I'm in the bank. Tell my mom I'm living good. Tell my kids don't stress a thing. I go back to back on the drops, drop a lot, and she pack the bags. She shot till we drop.
Okay, so excuse the state of me, not quite finished this session or my session here before I go to the gym. I'm on a bit of a go slow team. I've got my RDLs left to do, which is 2 sets of 8. I've just loaded the bar, but I'm just going to give myself a minute before I do. Squats well, my body didn't feel amazing going in. Like, I've got a bit of an issue with my shoulder just from where I sat on the sofa last week, I think. And it didn't feel any worse after bench yesterday, but it's just not feeling amazing today. Didn't really notice it during squats, but I kind of felt it when I was setting up for deadlifts, but it's fine. But there's that, and then as I was squatting as well, I noticed that like my mid-back just didn't quite feel right. And again, like nothing got worse or nothing was like worrying me, but it just didn't quite feel right. Other than that, I think my squat positioning was decent, and actually I'm really happy with how squats went. I hit the 155 for 4, which was like my goal for this week. I don't really know what I'm pacing for this block on this session, and I know Lewis is probably going to cap me after he sees what I did today, but I am confident that today wasn't even like target RP, like upper limits. I think it was an RP 5 to 6 for that top set of 4. And I would say it was a 5. Like, it was a really comfortable 4 reps at 155. Did a double at 165, which I'd say was probably about an RP 5 as well. Like, it was pretty comfy. My main, like, personal goal for that one was to not tempo it, because when it gets like 165 plus, I tend to tempo more on the descent, which then impacts my speed out of the hole, and it just makes me, like, I don't dive bomb, and like clarify that, but I squat best when I'm quite a fairly fast but controlled descent. But I've got into this habit, especially training at home, where it gets like 165 plus, where I just tempo the descent, I think it's out of nervousness, and then my set just doesn't move as well. But I didn't do that today, and I was really happy with how it moved, and I was in a really good mood post squats, but time's kind of going really quickly, and I don't feel like I'm moving with it. Sumo was interesting. We kind of changed how I was approaching my setup with sumo, so my hips just kept shooting up as I was like initiating the lift before. And it wasn't like a problem, but as obviously loads get heavier, it's going to be a bit more of a problem. So we're trying to refine my start position. So what we've kind of tried is hinging into position rather than sitting into position, but like really focusing on that a bit more. And it's definitely helping a lot with my speed off the floor, like a lot. But I think because of that, I really struggled to tempo to my knees tonight. Like, I also didn't feel like I was quite getting the setup properly, but my hips definitely weren't shooting as much as normal. I filmed my 3rd set, which was my last set on my camera, which was probably the worst executed, but yeah, sumo just didn't feel 100% tonight, but I'm not mad about it. Like, it still moved fine. It's a set load, it was nice and comfortable, it was a low RPE still, just something didn't feel right. But I do think it's because of the new setup is kind of making me a bit quicker off the floor, which is then making it harder to control off the floor, like with the tempo. Whereas I think if it was a normal comp sumo pull, it probably have felt great. So yeah, but time is kind of going quite quickly, and I'm very aware that it's getting late and I am exhausted, and I still have 2 sets of RDLs to do and my accessories. But to be fair, when I'm at the gym, my accessories won't even take me 25 minutes, as long as I can get on the kit I need. But we'll see. But yeah, my mid-back and my lower back aren't feeling 100%. But they haven't been for a few days, to be honest. They're just a little bit worse today, but I've also been at my desk a lot today, and obviously my steps are down from not being able to walk Suka, so I think that's all kind of playing into it. But I'm not concerned. Like, I don't feel like anything's going to kind of go or anything like that. Like, I'm not in pain. I'm just aware of things. But it's all okay. Yeah, I've not got anything else to say. I think probably wrap the video up here. Thank you if you've made it to the end. I will see you in a few days for the next one. I'm trying to stick to a schedule of Tuesdays and Thursdays for my uploading of training videos. Still plan to do like 2 roughly full day of eatings, or roughly 2 full day of eatings a month. So like every other week type thing. And yeah, although at the moment I am not thriving. Like, I'm not doing badly on the nutrition front, and we've got a lot of stuff I need to cook up indoors, but I don't want to cook, which I say all the time. But I haven't really had time yet this week, so I think tomorrow afternoon potentially, because I got a lot of work done today. I keep doing this on Tuesdays and getting really ahead on work and like other things on my to-do list outside of just obviously like client replies and stuff. But really it would make so much more sense for me to leave it for a Wednesday, because I have more time on a Wednesday and I don't have to train on a Wednesday. But it is what it is. This is just my time management, I guess. And I'm like, when I have an idea in my head of something I need to get done, I have to do it there and then, or it will just play on my mind. And I didn't sleep very well last night either. Like, I woke up, like, normally I sleep really well, even when I was sleeping on the sofa. Like, it wasn't a deep sleep, but I was still sleeping. First night back in my bed was Sunday night, and I slept super well. Like, it was great. Last night, Monday night, I woke up at 4 for a wee, and I literally couldn't switch my brain off. But when this happened a couple of weeks ago, I had a lot of things on my mind that I needed to sort, and I had things to be stressing over. I've taken care of everything on my to-do list. Like, I don't know why my brain couldn't switch off this morning, and like I was just kind of laying there. I was trying to like focus on my breathing, clear my mind. But I was just sort of laying there and my mind was pretty empty, but I just couldn't go back to sleep even though I was really tired. So hoping that doesn't happen tonight. But I think that's partly why I'm not feeling amazing today. But I think tonight, so my boyfriend is currently sleeping on the sofa to keep an eye on Zuko, mostly so that he doesn't destroy the sofas. I think tonight is probably the last night before we just kind of go back to letting him use the stairs, because to be honest, he's going he's so hyper anyway. He's jumping from sofa to sofa. I think he'd actually probably be calmer if he had access to more of the house, so we're probably going to let him sleep upstairs again tomorrow, because he normally sleeps outside our bedroom door, and then it'll be back to normal-ish routine, minus dog walks, I think, as of possibly tomorrow night, maybe Thursday, but we'll see. Anyway, that wasn't interesting. I'm going to wrap the video up here. If you've made it to the end, thank you very much. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in a few days for the next one.